4.5 months when Aucklanders get the opportunity to vote on the vibrant city that they're going to have, it's going to be without Māori representation because of the government. And that is the simple truth of it, because vibrancy requires a matrix of a whole lot of people who Auckland is made up of being represented. Pacific people, Māori people, ethnic people, but instead they've been relegated to an advisory board status. There was a wave of popularity on the Māori seats which was encouraging, and it could be easy to ride that wave. However, Labour firmly believes it is right to have Māori representation and have dedicated seats, and the Royal Commission, in fact, were the ones who said that if we're going to do anything different for the future of this city in terms of representation, do it now, do it differently, do it for Auckland, have dedicated Māori seats. And I want to confirm and endorse the precise contribution of my colleague Kelvin Davis regarding the issues around Māori representation, because he outlined a number of key points that a number of people would be very interested in listening to. The Royal Commission, one, proposed that Māori seats be dedicated. Iwi, who are currently involved in their council, said, well, you know, two's not enough, but it's actually a really good start. We would be at the top of the decision-making table. 3, it would be very difficult otherwise for us to be represented because you need a bit of money, the way this government's promoting things. Be probably quite difficult to get any candidate up from communities like ours to be able to be represented, so dedicated Māori representation is the way to go. Now, I met with mana whenua in Auckland around this very issue, and they were really concerned, one, about the shape and form of the new governance structure, but 2, that the interests of tangata whenua were going to continue to be protected and advocated for on the real decisions affecting Aucklanders. They want to be a part of a vibrant city, they want to contribute to decision making, they want to also contribute to the way in which the city can evolve going into the future. Māori will be key economic players going forward in Auckland. Treaty settlements will denote that Māori and iwi will want to be willing partners with local government, with central government, with the community, to ensure that the interests of Auckland can benefit everybody. But no, the politics of exclusion promoted by the Minister totally denied any sense of representative participatory democracy, not just of Māori, but of a number of groups. And we're concerned about that. Because, there's a cost barrier issue. That is a very real concern, Minister. And certainly Māori will be affected by this. So it's not simply enough to say if all Māori voted, then they'll get someone on the council. It's not good enough to say that. There is a cost barrier that will play out, that will have an effect on the type of representation coming through on the super city. May not be the case for local boards, but will be the case at the council level, I am sure. The other point that I wanted to highlight was the one really that my colleague Kelvin Davis raised, and that is, on the one hand you sign the Declaration of Independence promoting that this is an aspirational document that holds promise for Māori, with no intention of implementing any of its articles to the benefit of an outcome that could promote and accelerate opportunities for tangata whenua. The Māori Party know that. So they've been told that the declaration is a good thing. We're going to give on the one hand and take on the other. We'll give you a flag, but we'll take away Māori representation. We'll give you a flag, but we'll take away Māori representation. And I know for a fact, if tangata whenua were asked what would they prefer, it's not shallow symbolism, it's substance. They would have preferred seats on council, because they know that by sitting around the decision-making table, that by participating in a democratic decision-making process, that they could put the key issues on the table that are affecting Māori communities, but also with a broad enough vision of what is in the best interest of our citizens here in Auckland. And I think that in many ways the politics of exclusion underestimated the real intent of tangata whenua to be willing contributors to a positive look for Auckland City, more importantly for New Zealand as a whole. Tangata whenua groups like Ngāti Whātua ki Ōrākei, Ngāti Whātua ki Kaipara, Te Kawerau Āmaki, Te Waiohua, Ngāti Te Ata, Te Ākitai, Ngāti Tamoho, Ngāti Paoa, Waikato, Hauraki, to name a few.